Hello there and thank you for clicking on this video. In this episode we are going to talk about the first 3 episodes of Hawkeye, and we're going to compare his origin story to Daredevil's origin story and the treatment that Daredevil got in his own show and the way Hawkeye is being treated right now. I believe after finishing Daredevil season 1, actually from episode 1, I concluded that Hawkeye should have been shown in the same or at least similar light. I mean, Daredevil is street smart, he's very skilled, he is fighting for justice, he beats up people, the fighting scenes are super long but amazing, the dialogue is just superb, the characters are amazing, everything is just so good in this show. And I think that Hawkeye should have been shown in the same way. He deserves to have these very long fight scenes, these amazing dialogues, because Hawkeye, despite always being in the background, he was always shown that he's very deep and very down to earth. But despite that, obviously we know that he was always in the background. He's not as impressive and wonderful as Thor or Captain America or Iron Man. But let me continue by saying that I have never read a comic book in my life and I'm not familiar with the characters as deeply as some of you are. But in the last few days, obviously I did some research on Hawkeye and I was very surprised to learn the things that I learned. So let me bring you up the origin story of Hawkeye according to Britannica, and obviously I would trust Britannica because I mean it's an encyclopedia and it should be right? I don't know, but anyways, I believe that this is right. I don't know what's right or wrong because I'm not familiar with the character, but obviously as you can see, apparently the man who would become as Hawkeye was born Clint Barton, orphaned at an early age. He joined the circus and apprenticed himself to the swordsman, a performer who specialized in tricks with blades. After he discovered that the swordsman stealing from the circus, the two fought, and Barton was left for dead. Barton recovered and he continued his martial training with the circus resident archer Trickshot. Afterwards, obviously, we learned that he took up the name Hawkeye, he took up an amazing costume, by the way. Where is the costume? And he started fighting crime in his own city. The same thing that Daredevil did. So let's go to Daredevil's origin story. It's a bit different from the show, but it's more or less the same concept. Daredevil in the show, let's talk about the show. When he's 9, he loses his father. In the comics, he's a bit older when he loses his father, but that drives him to fight crime, to fight for justice. He is trained by this guy in the show that we see, and the stories are not that different. But the difference is right now, the one is a badass ninja and the other one is a babysitter. So as I already said, Hawkeye's story should have been just as compelling as Daredevil's story because they have so many similar things. They're not special, they're not gods, they're not geniuses, they're just very skilled people with heightened senses and can do stuff. But unfortunately, Hawkeye was always overshadowed by obviously his other Avengers, but now it was time for him to shine. It was time for Clint Barton to be Hawkeye, to be streetwise, to be amazing, to be super skilled, to be the center of the attention. Unfortunately, as we know, they had to bring in Kate Bishop, who is the center of the attention because this is her show. This is her show to build her up to eventually be one of the Avengers, and for Clint to go into retirement, because this is what happens to heroes right now, because we cannot have any cool male heroes anymore. It should all be women, which is kind of dumb. His story is not that boring. I think she's a good actress. I think she's an okay character. But it's the Hawkeye show. The villain in her story is very cartoonish, as with every villain right now, not only in Marvel and Disney, but in Netflix stories, in every story, villains are very cartoonish. They're kind of quirky, they're funny, they're just cartoonish. I don't know what word I should use to better describe that, which brings me to my next point. Apparently, we're getting Wilson Fisk, aka the Kingpin from Daredevil, in the Disney show. How is this going to translate to Disney? I don't know, because for those of you who don't know who Kingpin is, who Wilson Fisk is, he's a businessman. But let me tell you something about this businessman, aka actually the mafia. I don't even know what he is. He's a crime boss who will break every bone in your body if you look at his girlfriend the funny way. He will break your skull, he will take out your spine out of your body laughingly. And how is this going to translate to Hawkeye, the Disney show, the comedy Christmassy show? I don't know, but I'm excited to see that because I will either laugh or cry or probably cringe, because this is a very bad person. Not only bad, he's evil. He's the pure evil.
I'm gonna kill you!
But he's a great character. He's one of the iconic Marvel villains, and to see him in Hawkeye, I don't know how you can ruin this character, but if they can, they will. Of course, we have the villain Echo, who is just a 20-year-old something girl that will probably overshadow the Kingpin, but I don't know how physically she will overshadow him, but she probably will, because obviously nowadays girls are the bad people. We don't have any male good villains. Every good male villain, at the end of the day, he's kind of stupid. Only the girls are smart. So going back to Hawkeye, after 10 years in the shadow of the Avengers, at last he got his chance to shine. But instead of getting his origin story, which I forgot the ad, the intro to Hawkeye episode 1, the first few seconds, actually the first 5 minutes, it was all about Kate Bishop. It was about her story, it was about her training, it was about her everything. And what about Black Widow and Hawkeye? They could have made for such a compelling story. Both of them are so great. They have such good chemistry, and their story was not told. We got every story of every little character except Black Widow's and Hawkeye's, and they have such a long history together. After finishing Daredevil season 1, I wished we saw Daredevil and Black Widow, because I know they have a very long history in the comics. And Hawkeye, and the three of them, this could have made for $1 billion movie, and I would have loved to see that. But unfortunately, Marvel had to kill their one true, strong, authentic female character, Black Widow, and replace her with Captain Marvel. So as I said, in the show Hawkeye, we could have gotten, instead of the Christmassy comedy show, we could have gotten the story of Natasha and Clint, or just Clint. It would have still be good, but it's not about Clint, it's about Echo. Every character gets such a long origin story, and it's everyone except the star of the show that should be Hawkeye, but it's not. So as I already said, I think that Hawkeye, it's not a bad show, but it's just not about Hawkeye. It's about Kate Bishop and her adventures, and that's okay. You can have her have a show, that's totally fine, because she's not a bad character. But Hawkeye, after more than 10 years, should have gotten his respect the same way Daredevil did, because the Daredevil show is so good and I so love it, and I totally see the resemblance to Hawkeye, and I think that this could have been a really good Hawkeye show, just having him fight street crime or dealing with the trauma from Black Widow, while ghosts from the past, while he was Ronin or whatever, are hunting him. This could have been great and amazing, and he could have really shown all his skills as a fighter and archer and all these things that he is, because he has a lot of potential. He was never the most impressive person in the room, but he was always super charming, and he has a lot of charisma, and it's super unfortunate what they're kind of doing to him. And I hope that the Kate Bishop show kind of returns the spotlight to him, but I don't think they will. And I'm super excited to see Kingpin in this, and to see Charlie Cox back as Daredevil. Maybe Hawkeye, maybe not, I don't know, but I hope they don't mess it up, because I absolutely love Charlie Cox as Daredevil. I love Daredevil, and I'm super excited about it. But on the other hand, yeah, we're getting an Echo show and a Kate Bishop show and Agatha Harkness show, and where are all the men? Where did they go? I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah, I need them back, because watching just women is not that interesting. It can be interesting. We have had so many good female characters: Wonder Woman, Ripley from Aliens, Xena the Warrior. We had good female characters and we can still have them, but there should be a balance between male and female characters. It's my opinion. So do let me know, what did you think of Hawkeye? Did you like Daredevil? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Are you in love with the new Hawkeye show? And I will see you in the next video, and as always, may the force be with you.